Hello, bro. In this video, I wanted to contrast Qi Gong movement with Qi Gong meditation. Now, on YouTube, you'll notice there's lots of videos about Qi Gong, and it's got people, shaking and moving their bodies and patting themselves like this, right? Making a ball of Qi and moving the ball of Qi around, moving the Qi around. And essentially, the way I look at that is it's more of a mindful movement. It's where you're basically moving and focusing on the movement, and a lot of the benefit comes down to the fact that you're basically moving very slowly and thinking about the movement with your full mind, and then that's sort of slowing your mind down. However, at a very, very high level, the movement can actually be moving the Qi. And I'll explain why I don't think that for most people, you're actually moving the Qi when you're doing a movement Qi Gong. Now, Qi Gong meditation's a little bit different, where you're sitting, and if you're watching my videos about how to do it, and if you're doing it daily, then you are building the Qi, and you have, if you've done it for several weeks, then you're probably bringing the Qi around between the legs and then up the spine, and opening the microcosmic orbital. And so the Qi Gong meditation is basically the most direct, probably the least, in the beginning, maybe less entertaining, less interesting, way of, but it's also the most direct way of circulating your Qi, because you're sitting there and it's a very sort of simple exercise where you inhale, clear your mind, and exhale and focus on your Qi and grow the Qi, and then move it around the different channels in the body. Right? These are very similar channels to the ones that they use in acupuncture. Right? And the first channel that we open is the conception channel down the front of the body, and the governing channel up the spine, right? Opening up the microcosmic orbital. And so as the Qi learns to circulate around there during the meditation, now once those blockages are unblocked, the Qi is able to move. However, if you start doing the movements like this, making a ball of Qi, and doing things like this, and you start doing the movements, well, essentially what they're expecting is that the Qi is already able to move down your arms. Okay, so you've got 6 channels, right? You've got 3 yin channels and 3 yang channels up and down your arm. If you haven't opened the main channel in your body, right, the conception and governing channel, if you haven't opened that channel, it's very unlikely that you've opened sort of the heart and lung channels and all the different channels that go down your arm. And it's very unlikely that those channels have opened, because generally you have to open up the major channels first for then the Qi to flow into the organs, and then from the organs down into the extremities and opening up all these other channels. And so if you're doing the movements and you haven't actually gone and done the basic work of opening up the channels, it's very unlikely that you're actually moving the Qi the way it was intended by those movements. Those movements were largely intended that your Qi was flowing properly, and that as you're moving, you're actually feeling the Qi and guiding it along those channels and moving the Qi with your mind as you're making that movement. But if you're just doing the movement and thinking about it, it's really just an exercise in mindfulness. It's not actually Qi Gong. And Qi Gong, translated from Chinese, Qi, life force energy, Gong, it actually means work. So you're doing life force energy work, which, from my opinion, my understanding is when you're doing those movements, it's to move the energy, to work on the energy. But if you're not feeling the energy and those channels aren't opened yet, it's very hard, to open those channels through those movements. And if you're only doing those movements a couple times a week, I know from experience, the meditation, you have to do the meditation daily for you to open up these energy channels in the body. And if you're not doing if you do like 3 weeks of meditation every day, and then you miss 2 or 3 days, you kind of have to start all over again, reopening up those channels again. So what I recommend is that first do the meditation, go through my classes, or if you can find another meditation teacher, then great, but go through the classes that I've got on and do the meditation. Start with 20 minutes a day, and work your way up. And then as you learn to circulate the qi around the major channel, the governing and conception channels, right? Opening up the microcosmic orbital, then you can slowly learn to bring the qi out to the extremities through the different channels that go up the arms and legs. And then when you make the movement, you're actually going to feel the qi moving the way it was intended with that movement, as opposed to just doing the movement without actually feeling the qi or actually being able to move the qi because it's blocked. Okay, so so that's basically my take on the difference between Qi Gong meditation and Qi Gong movement. And in my opinion, you have to do the meditation first in order for the movements to really be effective.